Have you ever stopped to think about how many opportunities passed right in front of you, and you didn't even notice? Maybe she gave you that different smile. She asked a silly question, just to start a conversation. And who knows, maybe she even complimented your gray hair, your voice, or the firm way you speak. And you? He just responded with a polite smile, thinking it was kindness. But here's a truth that almost no one tells you. Most older men don't realize when they're being desired, and it's not for lack of charm, nor because time has erased you. It's because you were taught to think that a younger woman would never be interested in someone like you. This thought blinded you. It made you miss clear signs, but that's going to change now. Today, you will learn to identify 8 signs, simple, direct, but almost always ignored, that a woman is giving you attention with ulterior motives. And when you get to the end, you might see something that has been hidden for a long time. You still arouse desire, much more than you imagine. Sign 1, she starts a conversation out of nowhere, the invisible invitation. Imagine the scene. You're at the grocery store, calmly looking at the bags of coffee. Or maybe you're in line at the bakery, or even there, sitting in a corner of the gym between sets. Out of nowhere, a younger woman approaches. She smiles naturally and asks a question that, at first glance, seems quite simple, even silly. What coffee do you usually drink? Do you know if it closes early here? Does this exercise really help with lower back pain? In your head, it just seems like politeness, a coincidence, an exchange of words between strangers. But then comes the question that changes everything. Why did she talk to you? With so many people around with a cell phone in hand, capable of answering any question in seconds, why did she choose you? The answer is simpler and more powerful than it seems. She is testing you. These questions are what we call invisible invitations. Disguised as curiosity, they are gaps, windows, small open doors for interaction. She wants to see if you notice, if you're awake, or will you continue to be one of those men who look but don't see? This kind of approach is subtle on purpose. She doesn't want to seem too direct. She wants to protect herself from a possible rejection. Then she casts the hook. She waits for his reaction. If you just respond with an "I don't know" or a shy smile, she understands. It's not going to happen to him. But if you notice this sign, if you understand that it is not just a random question, but a hidden invitation, you change the game. Because at that moment, she is saying without words, "Notice me. Answer me for real. Give me a reason to stay here." Sign 2. The look that lasts a second too long, the silent touch. You are going about your day, distracted, perhaps using your cell phone or just walking through some common place, a store, a square, a supermarket aisle, and suddenly you feel like someone is looking at you. You look up, and there she is, a younger, beautiful, interesting woman with that steady, direct gaze. For a second, she meets your eyes, and when you realize it, she's already looked away. But that second remained. It remained in my memory as something out of the ordinary. Now stop and think. Why did that look mark you? Why did it seem like she wanted to say something without saying anything? It's simple. The look is the touch of those who cannot touch. It's the most subtle way a woman uses to gauge whether you notice her presence. If you are awake, if you are available, if he's the kind of man who stares or looks down. Many women, especially younger women, shy away from being direct with older men. They don't want to seem forward. They don't want to put themselves out there. So what do? They cast glances, but not just any look. Not that look lost in the surroundings. It's a specific look, full of intention. She observes you first, gathers courage, and at the right moment, looks at you, and holds your gaze for one more second than would be considered casual. This second is where everything happens. If you notice and hold her gaze, even with a slight smile, she understands. He saw. He understood. Now, If you immediately look away or act like you didn't even notice, the moment evaporates. These glances happen in the most unexpected places, in the elevator, in a bank queue, in a restaurant, and almost always, they go unnoticed. But they are real, and they carry something that words cannot: curiosity, attraction, and a hint of desire. Sign 3. She compliments something that no one else notices: the hidden caress. You walk into a place, a drugstore, a cafe, a store, and after exchanging a few words, she says, "I liked your voice, your way of speaking." Is so calm. That watch of yours has style, and then you think, why did she notice that? Because she was looking closely. What she's complimenting isn't just your voice or just your watch. She's complimenting you, but in a subtle, careful, almost disguised way. The thing is, when a younger woman is attracted to an older man, she doesn't start by complimenting the obvious. She doesn't say, "You're handsome." That would be too direct. She picks out the details, the ones that show she's watching you closely. Real curiosity. She sees charm in what you don't even remember you have. The deeper tone of your voice, the way you fold your shirt sleeves, the way you listen more than you talk. These compliments hide something bigger: admiration. And admiration is one of the first fuels of attraction. Often, she doesn't even know why she felt that way. She just knows that you made her stop, think, and feel something different. And the compliment comes as a shy way of getting closer, a verbal touch, an invitation in the form of words. But here's the detail that almost all men ignore. She only praises those who mess with her. If she were just being polite, she would talk about the weather, or at most say thank you. But when she points out something specific and unexpected, something that requires her to have paying attention to you, that's a clear sign. She is saying, "I noticed you. Do you notice me too?" Most older men, out of habit or insecurity, respond with, "Oh, thanks," and let it go. But that compliment was more than just words. It was an attempt to create a moment. And if you don't notice, the moment is broken. Sign 4. She finds excuses to touch you, the touch that is not by chance. You're talking to her. Maybe she's a coworker, a friendly receptionist, or even someone you just met in some random situation, and in the middle of the conversation, she laughs and touches his arm, or he comes closer to show you something on his cell phone and rests his hand on your shoulder, or even, for no apparent reason, says, "You have a little lint here," and he runs his hand over his shirt to remove it. It seems like a small gesture, casually friendly, but in fact, it's one of the oldest and most silent signs of female interest. Because a woman doesn't touch a man by chance. She measures, she chooses, she tests. And when she crosses that invisible line of personal space, even lightly, she is saying without words, "I want to see how you react to my touch." It's a disguised form of approach. It's not direct, it's not obvious, but it's intentional. She's trying to figure out if you'll reciprocate, if you're going to back away, if you're going to smile, if you're going to pretend you didn't even notice. And this is especially true when the touch is too light to be necessary, but strong enough to be noticed. It's as if her body says what words cannot. Why? Because touch, even subtle, awakens something. It creates a moment, an invisible thread between two bodies. And to an older man, this gesture may seem like nothing more than kindness or empathy. But it isn't. It's the feminine instinct making way. It is the masked desire for naturalness. Because if you truly attract her, not by appearance, but by posture, presence, confidence, she will want to feel that up close. And touch is the first step. So the next time a younger woman approaches you with a gesture like that, pay attention. She may be saying, without saying, "You attract me, now it's up to you." Now that you know these signs, you may be looking at the past with different eyes. That seemingly silly conversation, that compliment that seemed too polite. That light touch you ignored. Maybe all of that was more than a coincidence. The truth is, it's often not a lack of opportunity. It's just that you never learned to see. But now that has changed. You understand that female desire does not scream. It whispers. It reveals itself in details, looks, words, and gestures that are almost invisible for those who don't know where to look. And when you start noticing these signs, something awakens in you too. You start to walk with more presence, speaking more firmly, to exist with more intention. And that kind of man, my friend, it doesn't just attract, it leaves a mark. Now, before you leave, pay attention to the video that is appearing on the screen. In it, I show the male behaviors that make a woman secretly obsessed, even if she never admits it. If you want to continue this journey and understand how to provoke this effect naturally, click now, watch, learn, and see the man you really are.